You are being harvested. Right now, thousands of the world's most brilliant engineers are working around the clock with one singular goal: to break your will. They have turned your own biology against you, using every notification, every infinite scroll, and every like to trigger a hit of dopamine that keeps you salivating for more. You think you're in control, but you are a digital serf. You feel anxious when your phone isn't in reach. You feel restless when there is a moment of silence. You feel a need for instant gratification that has turned your focus into glass, fragile, shattered, and easily manipulated. But the ancients saw this coming. They didn't have smartphones, but they had the same human cravings, the same irrational fears, and the same emotional disturbances. To fight back, the Stoics forged a weapon called apatheia. Don't confuse this with apathy. To be apathetic is to not care, but to have apatheia is to be unshakable. It is a state of mind where you are no longer a slave to your impulses. It is the realization that your internal fortress is the only thing you truly own. And every time you give in to a craving, you are handing over the keys to the enemy. In a world that profits off your distraction, being an ascetic is the ultimate rebellion. As the masters taught, you are a slave to every screen that lights up and every impulse that enters your mind. The Stoic seeks apatheia, the fortress of the mind. To be an ascetic in a digital age is the ultimate rebellion. When you no longer need the world to give you comfort, the world no longer has the power to give you pain. Master your focus, or someone else will. If you are tired of being a puppet to your impulses, if you are ready to reclaim your mind from the merchants of distraction, welcome. You aren't just unfocused. You are currently under siege. Welcome back to Hypothetics. Today, we stop reacting and start resisting. This is Focus Ascetics, the 20 quotes of Focus Ascetics. Quote 1. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. The digital age is designed to make you believe the opposite. It wants you to feel like the latest headline or the trend of the hour is your problem to solve. It isn't. Your only true territory is the 6 inches between your ears. When you stop trying to control the world and start controlling your reaction to it, you become untouchable. Strength is the refusal to let an outside event dictate your internal peace. Quote 2. If you want to be beautiful, make your own choices. Epictetus. Most of your choices aren't yours. They are the result of an algorithm that knows your weaknesses better than you do. You are being pulled by cravings you didn't create. Apatheia is the act of reclaiming the wheel. Beauty, in the Stoic sense, is the elegance of a self-governed life. To be free, you must stop being a consumer of choices and start being the architect of them. Quote 3. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Epictetus. Dopamine addiction is a hunger that cannot be satisfied. It only grows the more you feed it. The Focus Ascetic understands that true wealth is the ability to walk through a marketplace or scroll through an app and want nothing. When you kill the need for the next hit, you bankrupt the system that tries to control you. Freedom is found in the subtraction of desire, not the addition of stuff. Quote 4. No person has the power to have everything they want, but it is in their power not to want what they don't have. Seneca, the buy now button is a trap for the undisciplined mind. It preys on the feeling of lack, but apatheia creates a shield around your contentment. If you decide that what you have is enough, the world's marketing machines lose their grip on your soul. True power is looking at a must-have item and feeling absolutely nothing. Quote 5. He is a king who fears nothing. He is a king who desires nothing. Seneca. Every craving you have is a master you must serve. If you crave attention, the crowd is your master. If you crave comfort, the screen is your master. The ascetic is the only true king because he has no masters. By eliminating fear and desire, you create a fortress that no digital army can breach. Your sovereignty begins the moment your impulses end. Quote 6. The soul, like an agent of a master, is free from the body. Marcus Aurelius, Stoic interpretation. Your body wants the sugar, the scroll, and the easy path. It is wired for survival, not for greatness. But your mind is not your body. Apatheia is the separation of the observer from the impulse. When you can watch a craving arise and say, "That is a biological signal, not a command," you have achieved the ultimate level of focus. Quote 7. How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself? Epictetus. By giving in to instant gratification, you are settling for crumbs. You are trading your long-term potential for a 5-second hit of dopamine. Demanding the best for yourself means demanding focus. It means protecting your attention as if it were your life. Because in the digital age, it is. Every second you spend reacting is a second you aren't creating. Quote 8. The mind that is anxious about future events is miserable. Seneca. Dopamine loops keep you in a state of next. You're always waiting for the next message, the next video, the next fix. This keeps you in a state of chronic anxiety. Focus ascetics is the practice of being here. When you master the present moment, the future loses its ability to disturb you. Peace is the byproduct of a mind that has stopped hunting for the next high. Quote 9. It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable. Seneca. They can take your data, your money, and your time, but they cannot take your focus unless you give it to them. Apatheia is the unconquerable state. It is the mental muscle that says no when the world screams yes. Your focus is the only weapon you have in the war for your soul. Don't let it rust. Quote 10. Curb your desire. Don't set your heart on so many things, and you will get what you need. Epictetus. The modern world tells you to want it all. This scatterbrain approach is why you feel weak. When your heart is set on 1,000 different distractions, your power is diluted to zero. The ascetic narrows their focus to a single point. When you want less, you achieve more. Depth is the reward of the narrow path. Quote 11. A man is as wretched as he convinces himself he is. Seneca. The need for external validation is a conviction of your own inadequacy. You scroll because you feel empty. But the void is a lie. You are already complete. You've just been convinced otherwise, so you'll keep consuming. Apatheia is the realization that you don't need the likes to be whole. You are the source of your own value. Quote 12. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Marcus Aurelius. The world wants you distracted, impulsive, and weak because a weak person is easy to sell to. The best revenge against a system that wants to harvest your attention is to be focused. Every hour you spend in deep, silent work is a middle finger to the merchants of distraction. Your excellence is your resistance. Quote 13. Small disciplines repeated with consistency lead to great achievements. Ancient Stoic maxim. Apatheia isn't built in a day. It is built every time you put the phone in another room. It is built every time you choose a book over a feed. It is built in the small silences. These tiny acts of asceticism are the bricks of your fortress. Mastery is the accumulation of 1,000 no's. Quote 14. If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it. Marcus Aurelius. The notification doesn't cause the anxiety. Your reaction to it does. You have the power to strip the meaning away from the noise. A screen lighting up is just light hitting a glass surface. It has no power unless you give it permission to enter your mind. Withdraw your judgment, and you withdraw the pain. Quote 15. Silence is a lesson learned through the many sufferings of life. Seneca. We use noise to drown out our internal suffering. We scroll to avoid our own thoughts, but the focused ascetic sits with the suffering until it transforms into wisdom. Silence is the laboratory of the soul. If you can sit in a room alone for an hour without a device, you have more power than the most famous influencer on earth. Quote 16. He who is brave is free. Seneca. It takes a rare kind of bravery to be bored. To sit in the gap without reaching for a distraction is an act of courage in the 21st century. This bravery is what unlocks the door to apatheia. When you are no longer afraid of your own empty mind, you are finally, truly free. Quote 17. The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have. Epictetus. Quote 18. To be even-minded is the greatest virtue. Heraclitus. Quote 19. I am master of myself when I can do what I ought and not what I want. Stoic teaching. Want is an impulse. Ought is a function. The ascetic chooses function every time. Quote 20. The goal of life is to live in agreement with nature. Zeno. The Shield of Apatheia is not something you buy. It is something you forge through the daily rejection of cheap comforts. It is the realization that your focus is the most sacred thing you own, and you have been giving it away for free. Stop being a victim of the hit. Step off the treadmill and into the silence. The world wants your attention, but your soul needs your focus. If you are ready to stop being a slave and start being an ascetic, leave a comment with the word unshakable to show you've reclaimed your mind. Stay disciplined. Stay focused. This is Hypothetics.